guys, today we're going to be painting a Delphinium in a loose floral watercolour style. These are such elegant flowers to paint. We did them recently as part of Seasonal Floral Challenge and you guys loved the tutorial. So I've turned the step-by-step guide on Instagram into a video so you can paint along with me. Now for this class I'm going to be using my favourite Winsor Newton Professional range watercolours. I buy them in tubes and then I squeeze them out into this palette and let them dry off. I will also be using my Princeton Heritage 4050 synthetic brushes. I'll mostly be using a size 8 for this one. And then I am using Rowney's Langton Prestige 100% cotton paper. It's a really nice paper. I've got this one with a rough grain because it lends a nice texture to these sorts of plants, but any paper will do. Right, so first up we're going to mix up a blue. For this I'm using Cobalt and a little Prussian Blue to make it a bit deeper. So we want quite a thin mixture with lots of water to start with. And then we're going to start in the middle of the page, just move that along, and start creating some loose strokes in kind of a 4-petal shape. And then we're going to do another one next to it. It's okay to allow them to touch and blend together. And then we're going to add a little bit of Prussian Blue, just a little thick mix there, and just touch it into the centre and allow it to blend out into the other petals. We want to do this while it's still wet, but without any puddles on it. Okay, and we're just going to keep this going. What we're aiming for here is a column shape as the Delphinium spreads up. A little darker one here. I'm going to put a little darker one there at the bottom. Now for the bottom ones we're going to want just little half flowers to fill the gaps. And now you can see what I'm doing here is really mixing up the values so that they're not all the same kind of tone of blue. That's starting to get a bit samey, so we'll put some darker in there. And then we're going to go back in with the Prussian Blue for the centres. Start with this one. Don't be afraid of making this quite abstract. It's one of those flowers that just is really reliant on the shape. So you don't need too much detail in there as long as you get the broad shape correct. You can see that now I've established a shape, we're going to start moving up in a column direction. Not all the flowers have 4 petals, sometimes I'm just doing 3. You can also see that they're getting slightly smaller as we move up the stem here. And when we get to the very top, they're just going to be little smidgens of petals. I'm going to go back through here and fill in some of these gaps. And then we're going to go back with the darker colour for the centres. It's okay to have these quite jagged. You can see I'm using really good cotton paper here because it's staying wet for ages and allowing me to do lots of little tweaks and adjustments as I go. This is my favourite way to paint watercolour, using wet on wet. I find it really addictive to just watch it spread. Okay, I'm broadly happy with that as a shape. So what we're going to do is mix up a sap green colour. Just a really little bit here. I'm going to go straight from the well and just add some little buds. I'm going to do a lighter value than that, just to fill in some of the gaps. And then what we're going to do is start to add a stem. So we imagine it's coming through the middle and then we sort of fill in any gaps with the stem. I'm allowing it to touch the little blue flowers here to spread out and create some nice blends. And I'm just connecting all of the pieces. Now I'm working in a kind of V shape because that's the way that they would grow naturally. And then we're going to use the same sap green for the stem, so I'm going to add a little darker, thicker one there. Just connecting all of these. And then from the bottom we're just going to pull down. Now it helps to add a very slight, that wasn't straight, a very slight curve to stems. No flowers tend to grow directly upright, so it helps to add a little curve to make it feel natural. And then we're going to use more sap green for the leaves, and I'm going to add in some Prussian blue as well to darken it. I pull that into a well. And a little Prussian blue to get a really deep mix. Now the leaves have a kind of jagged fan shape, so what we're going to do is pull a stem out and then use some more water and then just push the brush sideways to create this sort of jagged shape, and then I'm going to put a darker line through the middle and allow it to blend out. There we go, drop it in wherever you feel like it needs some contrast. Add a little more sap green for the bottom half to make it slightly lighter. And I'm just pulling out. I quite like this rough paper because it leaves a little bit of texture. There we go. And then one on the other side as well. I like where this is blending into the stem. I'm just going to darken that for a shadow. Pull that through. And then we're going to add darker in there. And then finally a bit more light sap green. So I'm going to start off dark at the base, and then I'm going to rinse some off and use a lighter value for that bit. If you find it's getting a bit shapeless, you can always go back over and push some of that out. Decided the stem is drying a bit patchy, so I'm going to go back over that and just smooth that out. And there you have a simple delphinium flower. There it is, finished piece. I love how the green is blending into the blue of the flowers there. It looks so nice. And it's such an easy flower to make. The rough paper here has created a really nice texture in mine as well. I hope you liked this video tutorial. If you did, please subscribe. I will be posting weekly new ones from now on. And if you want to share your work with me, you can always post it to Instagram and tag me. I'd love to see what you create. I'll see you next time, guys.